What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Thursday, December 5th evening show. Thank you for watching Sportsbook Review. This is Betting with the Bag. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Hustle Wilson showing that hustle first in the chat. Fat Fist in the house. Mark on Caper. Deer Slayer Ski. Major Tom. Jeff Billings. 7 and 10 in prop plays. Nice job. Nice job. Play for the night. Sharks first period and moneyline, and Rangers first period and moneyline. Rockets first period and full game moneyline. Damn! You know, I still haven't gotten to the window with the Raptors. It's a tough day, and I will get to the window with the Raptors before I head out to Liveline. I'm going to do Liveline tonight with the guys. I'm very excited about this Thursday night. A triple beam dreams on Cowboys -3. Newfie Romans is happy to be tuning in here from Newfoundland. Shout out to The Rock. Brooklyn Funk Project, Chicago Plus every quarter. Let's get it. Polo this, polo that. Guillermo Zertucci was the first winner of the Vegas Gun Award, and that puts a big smile on my face and heartwarming. Shaft in the house. Big Ragu. Yo, like in the under 43. I tell you what, Teddy Covers is on the over. Whale Capper's on the over. So I will be impressed if you could take out those two guys. Yo, my guy. Ron Lofton, PG 00187, Nasty Nate, Rashim Luma, Jim Rome's a douche in the house. Owen, 1,700 pound on blackjack. Shit. Tackman Clan Killer in the house. San Diego State keeps rolling. Smart Money. The big guy Bubba like in Cowgirls first half and full game. Me and the public win tonight, says the big guy Bubba. Thank you for joining us, big guy Bubba. Melee, Pay, Let's Wait. Fuzz Logic, Stat, Guap. Paul Taylor, the sailor in the house. Paul Taylor, the sailor. And Keith Sadler has caught the earlier show on replay. So sorry to hear about Vegas Gun. Rip, see you. We're pretty broken up. Yeah, I was and am. But he wants us to get that cash. That's what he wants us to do, and that's what we shall do. Silver Malco, Jonah, Greg Matson. Okay, this is what I've done on the Thursday nighter. I was studying the Cowboys defense, and it's not the defense we remember. It's not the defense of old. I'm still afraid to make a move on the Bears because I don't trust the Bears defense right now. I don't like the Bears defense right now. But what I do know is that the Cowboys can get hurt in the air. They can get touched through the air. Last 5 games, they've looked bad. Have you seen Mitch Trubisky's numbers the last 2 games? Look, he's bad. He's trash. He's all those things you guys say about him. There's no doubt about that. But let's take a look at Mitch Trubisky's numbers the last 2 games, because he's trying to save his job in Chicago. And if we take a quick look right now at Trubisky's last 2 games against, we'll break it down right now. Here we go. Let's get him up here. Here we go. It's a bit of a smaller card, Rafa, so we'll bring Max on in 13 minutes. So Trubisky against the Lions. Lions are terrible pass defense, but he goes 29 for 38 for 338 yards, 3 touchdowns. All right? Then so the last 2 spots, Jets, Giants, yeah, they're bad. But the Cowboys are not good anymore. And if the Cowboys get off to an early lead, he's going to have to air it out. I am not headed for an over. But I did take Mitch Trubisky over 233.5 pass yards. Trubisky over 21.5 completions. I'm making the move. There's Twatty Latte in the house. Can say Tom was a true friend. Love you, brother. Yeah, it's been a very, very tough day for our family here. It's been a very, very, very tough day for us. And we know what Vegas Gun wants us to do is get that cash. Now, I'm only putting $100 on each. So both of those together is the equivalent of a full unit in NFL. Jonah says, Trubisky gaining confidence. We saw what happened with Kirk Cousins, went into the Giants secondary and gained a little confidence. Ron Lofton says, yep, Cowboys D ain't nothing. They aren't. Much love to you, G-Sauce. Over, says Eric Jones. Over, says Eric Jones. And Muhammad Joma says, why the over tonight? First half under 21 seems like the play. Rashim Luma, Bears first half point and full game money line. Trubisky props tonight. I agree. Rashim, I agree. Brooklyn Funk Project says, Dallas has not played a plus 500 team in one. Chicago has. Plus at home, cold, grass. Dallas defensive end got arrested, stayed home. He didn't play last week either, but I agree. I agree. Deshaun Sampson says, Cowboys don't get beat by the air. That's the Cowboys from 5 weeks ago, Deshaun. Not the Cowboys we've been watching the last few weeks. So, we are making a move on Trubisky props. Look, I know it's dangerous. But I am doing. We're making a move on Trubisky props. Let's take one last look at the market on this game. Let's move over. I've got it set up for 5 dimes. Let's move over to Pinnacle right now. And there we have Pinnacle. Pinnacle opened up Chicago plus 2.5 now. Chicago's at plus 3. If you want a 3.5, you can get it from Bovada. I'm not going to take this spot. Mama Jones says Dallas defense is fine against teams that can't spread them out. Hey, Jungle Boy 223 says the under is the play. The under can hit, and Trubisky can hit these props. It's that simple. I mean, Trubisky doesn't need to get touchdowns for me to hit these props. And if he's playing from behind, I'm going to get paid. All right, so that's what I'm doing. That's how I'm handling this spot. We have 10 minutes to go over the NHL and NBA card very quickly. We broke it all down on the morning show. No more work needs to be done, but do we make a move on these Boston Bruins with how beaten up the Blackhawks are? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over all of the goalies, make sure that there's no surprises for anybody. I'm on the under 6 in Rangers Columbus as Georgiev, Korpisalo, they're both confirmed. Wild Lightning. We heard Babano talk himself into the over. That's Stalock, Vasilevsky. That's what we expected. Darcy Kemper, Brian Elliott, Arizona Coyotes. Arizona playing so well on the road. Philadelphia Flyers playing so well in general. I'm staying off that game, but Babano is on the Coyotes. Subban versus Varlamov in Knights Islanders. I took the over 5.5, and we're going to look at the market moves quickly, but Malcolm Subban. We have Francouz and Caden Primo. Caden Primo making the first start of his career versus the Avalanche. Those of you who have Avalanche tickets in your pocket should feel good. I don't have them, and I'm not going to have them. We have people backing the Sharks, but Aaron Dell will be between the pipes for the Sharks going up against Mrazek. Robin Lehner back from the flu. Can he pick this team up? He might be able to, up against Tuukka Rask. They just haven't been playing teams well right now. Connor Hellebuck and Ben Bishop in Jets Dallas. That's what we expected. And Yulmark versus David Riddick. Mama Joma says Soldier Field notorious for being a slow and poor quality playing surface in December and a non-explosive offense involved. Go under. Brooklyn Funk Project. I want you to keep your money in your pocket badly. That's what I want you to do. I want you to keep your pocket. The whole goal is from this show is that we work together to defeat the juice, and I'm never going to sell you guys anything ever. And so I want you guys to keep your money in your pocket, Brooklyn Front Project. That's what I would prefer. But if you're putting it down for Gun, send the Win the Guns family. I can't put that $50 into a bet. I can't touch it, but. You are a good man, Brooklyn Funk Project, and much respect to you. All right, so that's what's up. Let's take a quick look at market moves. The flu spots traditionally have been very bad for us. I'm now in my 3rd year down here, and we've not succeeded when we've tried to pounce on a team that's dealing with the flu like Chicago is. Money's come back in a bit on Boston, minus 220. On the morning show, I could have got Boston on the puck line at plus 116. Right now, Boston you can get for plus 120. Look, I think that's enough value. I really think that's enough value. I really do. I think the Blackhawks are a mess right now. Ton of injuries. The Bruins are rolling. The Hurricanes were a much tougher team. I think that I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm going to get plus 115 when I bet it. Plus 120 now, I'm doing it. I'm going to take the Boston Bruins on the puck line. If this doesn't come in, I'll be extremely upset. I didn't plan on making this move, but I feel like I have to. All right, Bruins minus 1.5 on the puck line. Avalanche, Canadiens, I'm off. Colorado, Montreal. Very interested to see what Caden Primo does here. The Habs are favored. Let's look at money lines and totals here and break this down. Money lines and totals. Montreal opens up the favorite. They're no longer the favorite at Pinnacle. This total opened up at 6. It's now at 6.5. A lot of volatility here. There's Viper MB in the house. Dan Kelly liking Wichita State. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste that. Thank you, Dan Kelly. Going to copy and paste that right this very second. And copied and pasted. Consider that locked in. Okay. So moving down the line on this card, Wild Lightning, I'm staying off. Wild playing very good right now. Did lose Jared Spurgeon last night, but they're on a roll. Lightning just don't seem to be the team that we remember them being. Fat Fist says Bruins will win by 3 or more. Tell Frederic in the house. Frederic in the house. What about the Philly under? I've been eating off Philly unders. And I don't know what to. These are two very good teams coming at each other here, and I don't like sneaking under 5.5. So just something I don't like doing. And the Mama Jones says, man, Trubisky isn't nearly as bad as people continue to go on about. He made some great throws to win that Detroit game. Had the Rams beat, moved the ball all game, just kept screwing up near the red zone. I feel that. I absolutely feel that. Jeff Billings props. Timo Meyer assist at plus 230. And Kane at plus 170. Westbrook to get a triple. Wow. Okay. I like it. All right. We're going to get into NBA very soon here. I'm on the over 5.5 in Golden Knights Islanders. Over 5.5 at plus 100. I love that they're back in Nassau. I love that Subban's in goal. Let's see what I'd get right now if I jumped in now. Here we go, totals. Over 5.5, I got plus 100, and you can still get it. You can even get better. Plus 105. I think there's going to be goals. Jim Rummy says, glad you don't like doing it. Yes, I do not want to be going up against you, Jim Rummy. Take it easy. Yes, I did take the Bruins puck line. I did take it. Al Hart talking about the Flames over. Jim Romzu says Landeskog in. Coyotes, Flyers, two great teams going up against each other. Sharks, I do not want to take them first game of a road trip. Also, they have 4 game in 6 nights. This is going to tell us a lot. Jeff Billings, my props are the over 233.5 passing yards for Trubisky and over 21.5 completions. Over 21.5 completions. Okay, Sharks, Hurricanes. The Hurricanes played Boston very tough, and I'm staying off. I want to see what this is a nice test of character for the San Jose Sharks. Rangers, Blue Jack. Dan Kelly says, I don't like Wichita State. A couple years ago, we all had. Oh, of course. Okay, thank you. Dan Kelly, thank you for clarifying that. Yes, I remember that very, very well. Wichita State, Houston. Houston was supposedly very sick. AP Indy, great name, says split opinions on NFL Tonight. Very interesting to read. Good stuff. There's DJ Big Boss in the house. Prince of the City said, everyone missing that the Bears D isn't the old Bears D. The third string quarterback moved the ball all over the Bears. No, you're right. That's why I'm not on the Bears. That's the main reason why I'm not on the Bears. But I do think that Trubisky will throw against this Cowboys defense. Okay. About that. So we're going to go through this. So Rangers, Blue Jackets, I'm on the under 6. Jets, Stars, I'm staying off. I do not trust the Stars to have heart to punch back the Jets in the mouth. And then Sabres, Flames, I can't trust this Flames offense. And I can't trust Johnny Hockey. And because of that, I can't back them, one. And I can't take the over either. David Hutton, let's copy and paste David Hutton's looks here. There we go. Copy and pasted. There we go. Yes, I got your message. Thank you, Mama Joe. I'm way behind on messages, and I'm going to get back to people. I know that game is Friday night, but thank you for sending it, and thank you for caring about everything that's going on here. All right, let's move on to NBA. And see if we have any market moves there. Here we go. America Jets win by 2 at plus 1,000. Wow. Wow. Okay. Sixers, Wizards. Wizards are beaten up. They have to move Hachimura over to the 5. They don't have Bryant. They don't have Wagner. Look, they're in trouble. But still, I just don't see this Sixers team putting together 48 minutes of basketball ever. Still where it was. There's now 8s on the board. Opened at 6.5 with 7.5 morning show. The Raptors are now 2-point favorites, 2.5 at some books. It was a mistake not taking the money line this morning when it was minus 114. It's now minus 133. I'm going to still get to the window with the Toronto Raptors. I'm going to still get to the... Junior Rami liking Wild pick. Liking the Minnesota Wild pick. D. Chatter says, who's on Furman plus 12.5? I'll tell you who is on Furman plus 12.5. That would be Teddy Covers. Teddy Covers is on Furman plus 12.5. I'm on the Raptors. Sorry, been a tough day for me, not feeling well. Nuggets, Knicks. Nuggets at 8.5, 9.5. Let's bring in Max. I'm not feeling well. I'm gonna need to take a second. Sorry guys, I don't know what's going on with me. It's just the grief or whatever. I'm not well. I'm feeling a little past outy. Oh, fuck. What a day it's been. Rafa, could you go over to Max, please? I'm going to need a sec.
What's going on, guys? Obviously, it's a tough day for all of us low baggers, especially Jimmy. And we'll give him a minute. And obviously, I can jump into some of these college basketball games. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to give you guys the deal on NHL and NBA, but let's just give Jim a minute, and I'll hopefully fill your freaking coffers with a couple college basketball picks. So I'll just jump right into this first 7 o'clock game. St. Francis, Brooklyn at Hartford. Line opened around 137 on the total, 3.5 on the spread, stayed there all day. The official play that I made, I have a play on the side. I have a play on the total. I recently took the under 137. And I took the 3.5 with St. Francis Brooklyn. I think that St. Francis Brooklyn definitely has an early advantage in the first half, and the key for them, I think, is really keeping Hartford off the free throw line. You got to pressure Tracy Carter because he's committing a lot of turnovers. He's committing almost 3 turnovers a game, and he's playing some of the most minutes on the roster, 29 a game. I think that for St. Francis, the 3-point shot will inevitably decide whether they cover or don't cover this game. And I think that starts and ends with 2 guys, Chauncey Hawkins and Denise Celine. Denise Celine shooting 46%. He's coming off a 7 for 10 shooting game, and Chauncey Hawkins needs to rebound from a 5 for 16 shooting performance. That's why they lost. I think that they come back strong tonight and really take advantage of a Hartford team that wants to play at a slower pace and isn't necessarily as offensive efficiently and deep. You got to also keep in mind the turnovers for Hartford. When you got your main guys, the guys that are shooting the ball the most, turning the ball over like that, it's a problem. So I'm on St. Francis plus 3.5, and I have the under 137. Let me just give a shout out to everybody in the chat. To Brooklyn, to Tackman, Jonah, Reese, Avataz, Nasty Nate, Cash Action Bets. I'll try and pay attention a lot also to the chat while we're waiting for Jimmy to just, I don't know. We'll just have to wait for Jimmy because obviously this is tough times for all of us, and my condolences go out to Tom Gunn's family. My condolence goes out to everybody that had personal interactions with him, and yeah, let's keep this going here. All right, so my next play that I made an official play for the show is going to be the Auburn over. So this is a game where it's probably the most popular game. It's probably the most thrilling game on the board, and we've seen a tick in the total. It's gone up from 145 up to about 148 and a half. I jumped on at 146. And this is a spot where I think that Furman is going to have a different kind of offensive performance compared to that game against University of South Florida, which let a lot of us down. But it was clearly a very public move, and unfortunately, I was on the public side that time. I think that Jordan Lyons for Furman obviously is the key cog for this Furman offense. Is he's going to have to be standing out. He's been struggling from the three-point line, just shooting over 25%, but he's a solid guy to get into the paint, penetrate the rim, get to the free throw line where he's shooting 93% from the line. One of the best in the country. The issue for Furman that I see, the barrier when it comes to the spread and them covering this number tonight, is how is their size and front court of Noah Gurley and Clay Mounts, who are both 6'7" and 6'8" respectively, going to go up against the depth of Auburn when it comes to guys like Austin Wiley and Daniel Purifoy, amongst others, Anthony McLemore. So rebounding advantage is definitely going to be Auburn's key. And with Javon McCormick really stepping into a good distributor's role, averaging 6.7 assists a game, I think that it just sets up an opportunity for Samir Dowdy to go off. I think both these teams are going to be able to score against each other. I think that they're both going to be able to get these second chance opportunities. They're going to be able to create defensive transition, scoring opportunities on the fast break, where Furman averages 9.5 steals a game. Auburn's going to get their second chance opportunities on the offensive glass, and I think that if Furman can avoid putting Auburn on the free throw line, where they are a volume free throw shooting team, even though they're at under 70%, I think that Furman has a good shot to stay in it. So for my additions, in addition to the total, taking it over 146, I'm going to actually jump on Furman first half, and I'm going to jump on the popular dog with the rest of the boys today and jump on Furman plus 12.5 full game. So I can get +7 at minus 108 at Pinnacle, so I'm going to add that. And then I'm also going to add plus 12.5 at minus 107 at 5 dimes.
Hey Max, sorry I'm back in action there. I got lightheaded. Don't know what's going on with me, man. Puked, and I am back in it. Max, I can get you better than I can get you Furman +7 at +100. At Bovada, and that's what I will give you. And Max is doubling up on Furman. We see Teddy Covers take Furman full game, and now Max is grabbing Furman first half and full game, as well as that Auburn over 146. That shot all the way up to 148. So Furman first half +7 at +100, and you are also taking Furman full game. It seems like Furman is a popular pick. Teddy Covers is on it as well. Why do you think the market hasn't moved and it's stuck here at 12.5 all day? In fact, it's only at 12. Oh, I guess so. At Pinnacle, it's moved, but nowhere else. Why do you think the market is not moving in Furman's direction, Max?
Yeah, I think that definitely you have to worry about how Auburn's performed at home, and that's going to really come down to what kind of student section crowd you get tonight. I don't think that they've sold this game out, which would be kind of strange, but makes sense due to the time of the year and what the student schedule is going to be. I think that Auburn home atmosphere is a 3-point to 5-point advantage for them, and if they don't have that, I think that Furman has an opportunity to really shock some of the average college basketball watchers, because we're going Jekyll and Hyde. We took Furman as a road favorite against South Florida. They lose by 10, couldn't score the basketball. Jordan Lyons couldn't freaking hit a bucket if his life depended on it. Now we're going into the underdog role, where Furman now is being thought of in the recency bias. But if we watch this game against Alabama, we know they're going to get up for this game. And I think that this is something that is going to work towards their resume and give them extra motivation when it comes to conference season, because if they win the conference and they have this win on their resume, well, that's a big boost. And I think that Furman has an opportunity to win the game outright. I'm not going to be putting my money on it, but first half and full game was the way that I decided to go. The numbers reflect that, especially for the first half. And then with the Auburn home atmosphere, that's what sold me pretty much, because statistically, these are quite even teams. And I think that there are advantages, obviously, with Furman shooting and then Auburn's size inside.
I like it, Max, doubling up on Furman first half and full game. Furman first half and full game. Max, what was the first bet that you put out?
There were two bets on the St. Francis Hartford game. There was the under 137 and there was the plus 3.5. I didn't DM them to you, but they are officially on my Twitter page.
Yeah, no, you did. St. Francis is part. You did send that to me, St. Francis, Brooklyn, the 3.5, but not the under. And what did you get line shopping for the under?
I got 137.
And what juice?
Minus 105.
St. Francis under 137 minus 105. Okay, let's keep rolling right along, Max. I'm going to tee up a couple spots that you are already on. We're going to be able to cap each and every one of these games. The next spot that you are already on is Montana State. It is the late game on the card. You got Montana State -1 at plus 100, and it is a pick'em at most of these books. Here. The total opened up at 137.5. Is now at 140 or 140.5. South Dakota State, Montana State. Why are you backing Montana State, Maxie?
Yeah, this is a spot where I think that Harold Frey and guys like Ladem Ricketts are going to have the opportunity. I think that both these teams are obviously adjusting to new coaches, new schemes, and new rotations and hierarchies. I think obviously with South Dakota State, we've seen a team that's played quite an impressive bunch of opponents right now, and they've held their own. I'll give them that respect. I think that Doug Wilson, coming from the JUCO ranks at 6'7", he's shooting 60% from the field. That's a great addition to a team that lost close to 85% of their scoring last year. And you know what? There are quality pieces coming out. Brandon Key has stepped up. He and Doug Wilson are averaging 27 points per game combined. He shoots 77% from the free throw line. This is a team that shoots 2-point buckets quite well. You don't want to see them out on the 3-point line, or if you're on Montana State, you do. I think Montana State definitely has some weaknesses when it comes to free throw shooting in Kirby and Paulo. But Paulo does some nice off-the-bench scoring, and Kirby obviously is playing some heavy minutes, and he can be counted for on the glass. I think that Montana State's 3-point defense at 26 to 28% roughly is going to be the difference maker in this game. I think that both teams are offensively rebound. They are weak offensive rebounding teams. They're both turnover prone, and I think that they both do a good job of not fouling a lot. I think that will end up being the downfall of South Dakota State. I think that South Dakota State definitely needs to get more second chance opportunities. They thrive on getting more possessions. I think that Montana State slows this game down. I think that it turns into an ugly game. I think that Montana State wins, and I think it's an ass clincher. So I took Montana State -1 plus 100, and I also took the under, and that's moved against me.
Yes, you did also take the Montana State under. I missed that. Under 138 and -110. Max doubling up on this Montana State spot. And you are going heads up with the great Sean Williams in this play. He's on South Dakota State. He's a dangerous guy to be going up against it. Yeah, DJ Big Boss, sad news, man. Yeah, very sad news. But we know what he wants us to do, and that's to cap the shit out of this card and every single card that is in front of us. Let's move on to another late game that you have moves on, and that is St. Mary's. Northern Illinois, St. Mary's. You made a move on the under at 130, and this is another total that's gone against you now. Interesting. It's moved up to 132 at 5 dimes. St. Mary's opening up at -13 now, -14. Why are you liking the under here?
Yeah, I'm literally just going against the grain on this. We've seen St. Mary's really play a lot of games that have been going over these types of totals, and I'm just waiting for the game for it to stop. I think against a team in Northern Illinois with Eugene Germain leading the front, 22 points per game, 2.8 assists, 1.2 steals. I think he's obviously a fantastic MAC player, but it then gives me questions about who else is going to score? Lacey James obviously is good for rebounding defense and protecting the rim in the front court, but it really is going to come down to what kind of game we get from Trendon Hankerson. And I think that he's coming off a 4 for 5 3-point shooting game. He has definitely been able to put double digits up in a couple games so far this season. I look for him to be able to have a good offensive game and determine whether or not Northern Illinois gets blown out. I think that there's a first half advantage for Northern Illinois. I'll be looking to add Northern Illinois first half. But as far as the total, I'm literally just trying to go against the grain and be contrarian. I've seen this number move against me. I have to believe that sooner or later, Jordan Ford, Malik Fitz, Matthias Tyus, and the rest of St. Mary's team is going to be able to get back to their style of defense, get back to their pace of play. You have to remember that they are playing quite poor defense. 37% from the 3-point line on D, 43% from the field on D. This is not the type of St. Mary's defense that we're expecting. Randy Bennett does not want that. I'm waiting for the game that they tighten up, and hopefully tonight, with the perception of St. Mary's going over, we're going to be able to get on the under here, and I'm going to be hoping and praying that this line move is incorrect and that it's just a public misperception.
Well, I respect that very much, and so does the chat. Shout out to Chris Brady. We got Anthony Mastronardi with us. Ixnizzle here, ready to go. Ernest Huffman joining us, and DJ Big Boss talking about our guy Vegas Gun hanging out with them at that big Summit of Champions that they held around the Breeders' Cup. All right, the next look on your card is a play that Sean Williams is also on, that being Elon. Elon on the road, opening up at -2, now 3.5 at Pinnacle, 4 everywhere else except 4.5 at Bovada. Why are you backing Elon here tonight?
Yeah, this is a spot where I have a little bit of trepidation about, but at the number, I had a good edge on it, and I played it. I think that Elon with Marcus Sheffield and the Hunters, Woods and McIntosh, you got a decent core of guard scoring. But this is a team that's got to get on the offensive glass. They got to get some rebounds, and they got to give themselves second chance opportunities because they do fall in love with their perimeter shooting. I think that on defense is a team that gets steals. They keep the turnovers down. They share the ball well. I think that the 3-point line obviously is critical, and for a team that shoots volume 3 throws, they're going to have to hit more of them. Hunter McIntosh is coming off a 5 3-point make game. I look for him to carry that on, and Marcus Sheffield, as long as he's consistent, driving to the bucket and getting his shots at his spots, I think that this Elon team is going to be able to have a decisive victory over High Point. High Point with John Michael Wright and Eric Coleman and Curtis Holland. Listen, they've definitely put on some points the last couple games. You look at the box scores, you can tell that instantly, and they're doing things efficiently that I'm not expecting. But the thing that sold me on Elon is that this is a team in High Point that's allowing teams to make 11 3-point makes a game, 38% from the 3-point line on D, and I just can't put my money on High Point yet. Even as a small home dog, I think that if this game turns into free throws, that will definitely make this a lot scarier of a bet. But I'm anticipating a similar type of performance that we got from Elon in the last game. Start a little bit slow, make some halftime adjustments, come out and get your shots, and frickin' put this away.
I like it. You are going up against cash action bet with this Elon spot, but you are with Sean Williams. Let's move on to your next spot on this card, and that's the La Tech Mississippi State game. You are on the under. This total opened up at 139.5, and it's moved up a half point to 140. A full point at Heritage, 140.5, but Pinnacle has not moved it. Pinnacle is sitting at 139.5. Louisiana Tech, Mississippi State. Why are you on the under 140 here?
Yeah, this is a spot where I once again have a little bit of trepidation. There are some numbers that I did analyze that said that I was making the wrong play, but I am playing my edge. I'm playing my own created lines and trusting my off-season work, like I've said many, many times on the show. But for Mississippi State, this is a team with Tyson Carter and Reggie Perry and Rob Woodard Jr. that are going to be the offensive catalyst for this team. And I don't think that it suits them to play an up-tempo game. I think we saw how they played an up-tempo game against Villanova that did not turn out good for them. They did have a rebound game against Coastal Carolina. That's the kind of offensive game that I'm expecting tonight. I'm expecting them to I'm expecting them to not struggle, I'd say barely get over 70 points. I expect them to play defense on this Louisiana Tech team. Louisiana Tech has definitely challenged themselves with their past opponents, Creighton, Indiana being the most two recent, and Power 5 ones. But I just think that Mississippi State will be able to lock down Mubarak Mohammed for Louisiana Tech. I think that there's a lot of depth scoring for this Tech team, but Caleb Ledoux, the McNeese State transfer, and Daquan Bracey, they're the main pieces that I see getting the most touches, they get the most minutes. Evian Christian sitting on the bench doing nothing, holding his dick. So I don't know what the hell they're doing there, but this is a team that really has a lot of scoring depth, and I think that in this type of game, it's going to be a downfall and a hindrance. I think that Mississippi State's going to be able to get out in transition, score the basketball, but then with their front court size, they're going to be able to really stop any penetration from Louisiana Tech. And I think that this game just screams to the under. I had this game lined at 134.5, and at 140 or 139.5, it was a play that I made quite easily.
Well, let's move over to Howard and Hampton. Howard, Hampton. We know that Hampton is the taint play of the day at minus 11.5. Hampton, the taint play of the day at minus 11.5. Howard, Hampton opened up at 152.5 and is down to 149. And you got the total at its lowest mark. Let me just grab it right now. You got the total at 148.5, and they're going over it. So you found the low point of the market move and they're trying to go over it. You're on the over 148.5. Why is that, Max, my man?
Yeah, this is a Howard team that allows teams to shoot in the 40s from the field and from the three-point line. This is a team that, don't get it twisted, they played Mount St. Mary's and gave up 72 points to them. That's not a team that scores quite prolifically. And I think that playing against a defense in Hampton tonight, I think that they're going to have a little bit of an easier time scoring the basketball. It's going to come down to Wayne Bristol for this Howard team. He's definitely the guy that can add to Charles Williams. I think that this is the team that shoots good from the three-point line, 42%. Wayne Bristol shoots 42% from the three-point line, 81% from the free throw line. Depth's going to be an issue, but this is a team that is ranked 350-something in the nation. They're not a good team, but this is a lot of points for a Hampton team that is playing their second game without Jermaine Marrow. Ben Stanley stepped in wonderfully at 6'6", 225-pounder. He's averaging 18 and 7, but I'm just not sold on them being an 11.5 point favorite. It's just a number I couldn't get on as far as a side. But as far as the total, if Hampton wants to have an easier time scoring the basketball, they're playing the team that they can do it against. This is a team that makes a lot of 3 points a game. Both these teams combined for 18. They commit a lot of turnovers, which leads to fast break transition opportunities. 10 steals a game combined, 40 free throw attempts combined. They're both weak on the offensive glass. If Howard gets to the free throw line, this game, I believe, will go over. So when I saw the number and saw that it went down from 152 and 148.5, I was like, okay, I'm going to go against the movement here, and I'm going to go with my numbers and what the stats say and what I've watched. So let's go with that over.
And that was the question that Brooklyn Funk Project wanted to ask. Big Lou says 5 people in this chat could cover against Howard, but Shaf says definitely on Howard plus 11.5 tonight. And Cash Action Bets is on the under in that Raptors game. Somebody was asking about it, and we were in the middle of college basketball, but Cash Action Bets coming in on the under. It's a tricky total. It's a tricky game at this point. Dwayne Reed on North Texas. +6, bought up the points and money line +220. Mississippi State -6, bought down the points. Hampton -11, bought the points down to -10, and he's on the Montana State Bobcats with Max as well. Okay, Maxie, let's look at your next spot on this card. That being the biggest favorite on the card, and you're not on them. You're not on them, being Wichita State, but you are on the over 142 in the Central Arkansas Wichita State game. This is another market move that's down to 140.5, and you got them 142. I'm very interested to see how you what your record looks like against these market moves. Central Arkansas Wichita State, Max is on the over. Take it away, my man.
Yeah, this gives me a little bit of anxiety with this number moving the other way, but I think that Hayden Koval for Central Arkansas, the 7-footer, 3-point threat at 50%, 12.9 points per game and 6.7 rebounds, is going to be able to get his shot tonight. I think he's going to be able to get his shot easier against the front court of Wichita State than he did against Baylor. Obviously, that was a real early start, and I credit that towards it. Ryan Bergenson is going to be the most important player for University of Central Arkansas to get this game over tonight. I think at 14 points per game and 5 rebounds, he's a nice leading piece, but he only shoots 17% from the three-point line. So he's a decent free throw line shooter. Same with the rest of University of Central Arkansas. I am a little concerned also with the fact that Colleen Bennett now is injured. That's a big loss, and that puts more reliance on the trio of scorers for University of Central Arkansas to play heavy minutes. Turnovers killed them against Prairie View A&M, plain and simple. 27 turnovers they committed, and now they're going up against a Wichita State defense that it can be quite ruthless when it comes to aggressive ball handling, trapping in the half court. And I think that Eric Stevenson and Jamaris Burton are going to be the ones that lead that defensive charge. I think that Wichita State's going to hit their threes at home. I think coming back home off that West Virginia loss, this is a perfect get-right spot. I hate to say it and use that term, but this is what I'm doing. I think that they put up 85 to 90 points. I think Central Arkansas puts up maybe 50, 55, and I think that we hopefully get over this line and we put this line movement in the frickin' back of the frickin' trunk, take it to Cocksuit Valley and bury it in a hole.
Okay. And then the last game on this card before we take a look at action tomorrow. Max is on Abilene Christian going up against South Missouri State. Abilene Christian opening up at -4, now 5.5 across the board. Max got in at 4 at -105. Why are you on Abilene Christian tonight?
Yeah, this is an Abilene Christian team that obviously lost a whole bunch of pieces from last year. Javon Franklin for one. But I think that you still have Peyton Ricks there. He averages 13 points. He shoots 87% from the free throw line, 37% from the three-point line. But there is a lot of depth. There's a lot of minutes to go around on this Abilene Christian team. So one of the players that I am looking out for a bigger performance, he's not playing more than 20 minutes a game. He's center Colton Cole. I think that Colton Cole is the guy that's going to be able to make a difference tonight. I think that this is a good Abilene free throw shooting team, but they got to score easy buckets. They got to drive. They got to get into the paint. And this is a team that thrives on picking pockets. This is a team that gets defensive turnovers in the half court, really gets out in transition. I expect them to do that tonight. I think that there's definitely a first half advantage, about 2 to 4 points, with a team that shoots 74% from the free throw line, gets on the offensive glass, forces more turnovers, and commits less turnovers. I look for Albion to take care of business tonight. I have no beef with Alex Caldwell or Skylar Hogan. They have upset potential. We saw what they did against Denver. They went wire to wire and beat them. They're solid on the offensive glass. They limit their turnovers. They pick pockets also. They avoid some dumb mistakes, but they do play really bad three-point defense. That's going to be the downfall tonight. They give up 9 three-point makes a game. I think Albion is able to comfortably win this game and cover the spread for us.
And I'm tailing Abilene Christian, -5.5, -105. I don't like getting a point and a half worse than you, but this is my first tail on the card, and I will be making a move on it. Joe Anthony says, play of the day, thanks. We are almost there, but we do have one more spot, Oklahoma, North Texas, that we haven't broke down. That's first half. Let me go do full game here. Spreads and totals, full game here. Oklahoma, North Texas. Oklahoma opening up at 5.5, now 6.5 point favorite, 7 at Bovada. 6 at Bet Online. This total opened up at 128. It's now at 131. And when we go up to our guy, Matt Randall, here, he is on Oklahoma -6. What do you think about Matt Randall's look on Oklahoma?
Yeah, I'm looking the other way on this game. I'm looking at North Texas first half. That's the play that I want to make official for the show. I look for North Texas actually to come out with Javion Harlan and Umaja Gibson and really give Oklahoma a little bit of a shock. I think that defensively, on-ball pressure, on-ball defense, they're switching, they're reacting to picks. I think that's going to be something that Oklahoma struggles with early on. Oklahoma is a second-half team for me. They're a team that I'll be looking to bet on live, on the live line, second half. Hopefully they're down by a couple points and North Texas is in front. I think North Texas, by my numbers, has a 4-point first-half advantage, and I look for the combination of Dengao, the North Dakota State transfer, and Zachary Simmons, the two front court pieces, to really have their hands full. You know, you're going up against Christian Doolittle and Brady Manick. These are guys that average 27 points per game combined. They hit their free throws, and Christian Doolittle grabs almost 10 rebounds a game. So Oklahoma's definitely going to keep the turnovers down, but against North Texas, we keep on seeing this happen. Good teams play against them, and they keep on making mistakes and getting sucked into a North Texas defensive game plan. I think that at least in the first half, that happens again tonight. North Texas three-point defense is fantastic at under 30%. They can hit free throws, but it only really comes from their guards, from Gibson, Hamlet, and James Reed. So they're only guards that really make free throws, but they'll be the ones in those situations at those times having to make those shots. Second chance opportunities and extra possessions will only benefit North Texas in this first half, and the three-point shot is critical because Oklahoma's main weakness on defense, by my estimations, is their three-point defense, where they're allowing teams to almost shoot 40%. So North Texas first half will be my official show play, and then on the live line, tune in, wait for me to throw out a live winner, because I will be looking at Oklahoma on the second half. And just to let you guys know, we weren't on last night, but I was able to help out the Sportsbook CEO and Tyler with a nice money line winner. So I will find one tonight. I will put us on it, and make sure you tune in and watch the show.
North Texas first half +4 at -115. That's the best line. There's no other fours on the board. That's available at Bovada. Max going in on +4 at -115. There you have it, but we have yet to get to the play of the day. Max, what is today's play of the day?
Well, obviously with such a short card, there wasn't a lot to choose from. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with Albion Christian first half. Jim, what kind of line can you give me? Because I have Albion Christian as a 2 to 4 point first half advantage at home. If they're going to secure us this full game, I think that they're going to start it early. So let's go Albion Christian first half if I can get under 4.
You can. Very interesting. Pinnacle is at -2 at -132. -3 at -105 is available at both Heritage and 5 Dimes. How's that sound?
I'll take the -3 and take the push risk.
All right. There we go. First half play of the day from Max is Albion Christian. And let's grab it here. Christian. First half -3 at -105. Let's lock that in. Not play. We'll say I heard Jimmy puked. Yeah. 4 times. It's the first time I've done that on camera. Okay. So we have Max's action. Let's go over it, and then we have questions coming in on tomorrow's card. Montana State -1 +100. St. Mary's under 130 -110. Montana State under 138 -110. Elon -2.5 -110. St. Francis Brooklyn +3.5 -110. St. Francis under 137 -105. Mississippi State under 140 -105. Howard over 148.5 -110. Wichita State over 142 -110. Albion Christian -4 -105. Full game first half -3 -105. That's the play of the day. Auburn over 146. Furman first half +7 and Furman full game plus 12.5, as well as North Texas first half plus 4 at minus 115. Max, that is Max's card right now. And let me put that. Okay, I've got that ready. I'm going to copy and paste this because I'm going to tail the play of the day here. And Big Ragu saying yes, Mohammed, get on that Oklahoma. Oh, I wonder if you were talking football there. Oh, no, no, I'm still talking basketball. Okay, next up, Max, we have a question coming in on tomorrow's spot. Careful on tomorrow's spot. I would love to hear Max's opinion on the total. Okay, sure. What is your opinion on this Oklahoma North Texas total full game? Let's move over to it right now. It is full game. It is 131 now. It opened at 128. What's your feel on this total? Oh, Max, you're muted, my friend. No worries.
Sorry, bro. I didn't want to give you guys the old whistling and breathing from my nose and mouth. But this is a game where I'm just looking to make a live play on the total. I think that my numbers lean towards the under. Seeing the line move the other way. Hadn't already made a pre-game play on it, so I'm just gonna watch it, and obviously I'll make a play on the live line later on.
The first question comes up about tomorrow's card, and it is from Reese. Says, how does Max feel about Iowa plus 8 tomorrow against Michigan? Michigan 8-point favorites. How do you feel about that spot?
Oh, Iowa against Michigan. That's a tough spot for me. To be quite frank with you, I'd have to hold on. Actually, I could just pull up I'll pull up my lines that I have for it. Okay. Just give me 1 sec, Jim. I'm just pulling out my lines, and then I will be able to give you just a rough look on how I'm looking at this game. All right. So for Michigan and Iowa, let me go to my Big Ten. I had Michigan as a 3.5-point favorite in this game. So at 8, I don't think I'd be looking at Michigan. But obviously now with this incredible run that they did have, they came back down to earth against Louisville. I think that Iowa is not going to – I don't think they're going to beat Michigan. But I definitely think that they can hang within 8 points. Iowa is getting great point guard play from Connor McCaffrey and Jordan Bohannon. You're obviously getting consistent offensive performance and staying on the floor from Luka Garza. I look for my difference maker, Wisekamp, to make the difference in that game and hopefully keep Iowa close enough to stay within the number. But it's not a play that I'll be looking to make my play of the day or something that I'm real smitten on. Well, looking at these other games so far on the card, it's a really nice looking card if you're looking for some of these big games because you have still the ACC and Big Ten matchups. We'll definitely talk about this Pittsburgh-Louisville game. That's obviously a real interesting spot. Louisville is definitely worthy of that number 1 rating. It's just the problem is the odds makers are hanging this 14 knowing that a lot of us are going to be itching to press the button on it. I think that Louisville's still capable of covering this number. I think that with Louisville, you play pack line defense. You got Samuel Williamson. You got Jordan Owara. You got fucking what's his name? Kimball Fresh from St. Joe's. Like, you got a lot of good pieces. And Chris Mack, I think this is his best team in his short time at Louisville. I think that this is the type of basketball that we can expect from them. I think that you have to be aware of the fact that there is a letdown effect. But in this game, I'd definitely be looking at Louisville, even at that big number. But as of right now, I'm not betting it. So the lines are out for tomorrow. Obviously, you guys should be looking at your SBR odds page. Have it open all the time. You're going to be seeing these totals bounce up and down, especially. That's how I beat this line movement. And let's go back to the chat, and we'll take some questions from there. So what do we got? Lafayette tomorrow. Is that a basketball game or is that a football game? Yeah, that looks like a football game. So, as far as totals that I'm looking at tomorrow, just by having a first glance at this card is, Cal State Northridge versus Portland State, 159, 160. Huh. After seeing Cal State Northridge last night against Portland, that's an interesting spot. I don't think that that number is. I think that number is a little too high. So maybe someone in the chat has some thoughts on that. But yeah. All right. Well, listen, guys. I don't really want to take up more of your time. I want you guys to have enough time to go get something to eat, have something to drink, maybe visit some independent pipe fixers. But we're going to shut down the show for now. Obviously, this is a tough day. Can't say it enough. My condolences to the Gunn family, to anybody who's a friend and knew Tom Gunn. He was a low bag member that will be missed and left a positive impact on all of us. Let's try and get this money tonight. Let's do it for Vegas Gunn. That's what he would have wanted for us. We're low baggers. He's a low bagger. He's going to be with us tonight. He's going to help us cash these bets. Definitely tune in to the live line, 7 o'clock, 7:15 ish. We're going to be breaking down the Thursday night football game. We're going to be freaking making it happen on the college basketball live board. We got Tyler on the NBA live board. There's going to be money to be made tonight. And I appreciate all you guys sticking around, supporting Jimmy, supporting the show, supporting Vegas Gun. This is what Jimmy and Pete wanted when they decided to make this show. And I think that we're going to be able to profit tonight with the help of Vegas Gun. So without further ado, Leche Alos Bookmakers, everybody have a great night. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.